Hey everyone, RG here and welcome back to a brand new Sims 4 speed build on the channel. I hope you're all doing amazing, and today you're joining me for the creation of a starter winery or a fizz making, okay? Because we do not have the ability to create, like wine in the game, unfortunately, I have to say, because we did have the options to do that on Sims 3 and I just loved it, and the whole process, I really loved it, and you know that I loved it. And we do not have the option to do that in Sims 4. Here we can only make fizz, which is something, I think it's from England, fizz, which is something supposed to be like sparkly, sparkly with some flavor, water or something like that. Anyway, so this is basically fizz and we can make it in the Sims 4. So I decided to take that to the next step and kind of bring you the starter winery for your Sims that want to become a big success of fizz making. And yes, the vines, like the vines grapes or grapes vines, gonna be functional. You're not gonna see that in the video itself, but I'm gonna explain to you how I did that, and super awesome. You're gonna see that that they are functional. I think you saw that at the beginning, at the intro, you saw the Sims actually going to the vines and grabbing some grapes for the fizz making, and they're gonna be functional. It was a big, it wasn't that hard to find how to do it, but it was a lot of work because I kinda tried to find the right objects for it to work. But anyway, before I'm gonna explain to you how I did that and go on, first of all, how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing amazing. And if you do, and you, by the way, if you are enjoying the new or the latest pack, which is not really a pack, it's the refresh for the spa day, I gotta tell you that I used some of those new items. I think the rope, I actually used a better colored rope, like bath rope, in this build. And if you're enjoying it, let me know in the comment section, what do you enjoy in that pack? Do you enjoy the overall making? Do you enjoy the new items? Do you enjoy the new gameplay? Let me know, how do you find this pack so far in the comment section down below. But as you can see right now, let's talk about the build itself. So the build itself, actually, for those who do not know, I already created a Tuscany Vineyard mansion back in the days. I think it was something around 1.5 years ago, where I only had, I think it was the 1000 subscribers special on the channel. And funny enough, that video actually blew up. It was at the time when YouTube was a bit more easy, and it was a bit more, you know, friendly to content creators. Actually, it promoted much more videos. Not well, today it doesn't really do that, but that video actually blew up and reached 80,000 views. So many of you who are watching right now probably came to this channel because of that build, that Tuscany Vineyard mansion, and you really loved it, and it was amazing. It was 64 by 64 like winery with cellar and place, like people could come over and the owner could do some tours for them in the winery and give them something to drink and taste, and it was something really awesome. The story was really cool, and well, at least in my mind, because I think that build was still a stop motion build, so I don't think that there was a lure behind it. But when I build, you know that I'm creating a lure in my brain. Anyway, that was actually one of the inspiration for this build, and I wanted to create this build after the vibe and style of Tuscany, which is amazing and beautiful place in Italy, where a lot of like winemakers are kind of settled and having a huge vineyards and huge vine mansions that they can create their own wine, and it's just beautiful. I really love the way they build those houses over there, those mansions over there. And so the idea in this build was actually to try and take a huge mansion or a huge Tuscany winery and try to scale it down into a really small, like a starter home for your Sims. So I took that one tower that you can see in almost any of the builds, like the buildings in Tuscany that are wineries, and the roof, of course, with those tiles on top, and the colors and the themes. And I tried to combine them all together and smush them and squeeze them together to create a starter home. So I hope I managed to do that and to give the vibe and the feelings of Tuscany. And of course, the biggest thing over here, which was, and you need to remember, people, this is a budget build. I'm talking about building something in only 22,000 simoleons. I did not go for the builds for only 22 or 24. I don't remember, but it was a budget build for 2 sims basically. So you can live here, by the way, with like 2 sims and a kid. You do have a spare, really small bed, so like bedroom. You don't need to count it as a room. I think it's 2x4, which is really narrow and small. There is a place over there to sleep and maybe a small like a small table to do the homework and stuff like that. But don't count on this build to be your big winery at the end, because the build itself is located on a small, and I kind of took the whole space already, on a small lot, and like a 40 by 30, no, 30 by 20 maybe. I think this is the smallest, like the smallest starter home in the pack of the cottage living. So basically, so don't count on this to be your bigger mansion or vineyard at the end of the game. If you want that, go and check out the Tuscany Vineyard that I created, the Tuscany Vineyard mentioned on the channel. I'll link it in the description, or I'll put a card on top for you to check it out, and that can be your latest vineyard. But yeah, you can see that this is going to be a cozy, small build, and of course, because we are building with budget, many of the items here are from the debug menu. And right now, you can see me creating the vines themselves, or the hanging, whatever it is, the fence on, like the fence that on top of it the vines are going to be. And I used those flowers from the cottage living pack, and I gotta tell you that the moment I saw it, the moment I saw those vines in the trailer, I was so excited for this, because at first I actually thought that they were gonna be grapes, and no, but then a friend of mine actually said that it looks like something else, something called wisteria, which is some sort of, I think I said it right, forgive me if I butchered the word, but it's some sort of flower, really beautiful one, but in real life that flower is way more dense, so I didn't think it's gonna be that thing, but they are really close in the look of them for grapes. And you can see that what I did is creating the vines basically with that flower, and then I took some of the grapes that you have in the debug menu. By the way, each one of those grapes actually cost, I think, 4 simoleons, and I just placed them on the vines. So your sims basically can come over here and take those grapes, but they cannot really reach them. You need to grab them with the mouse and just put it inside the inventory of the sims. But what I did what I did over here is that actually off camera, after I was a bit frustrated that the sims cannot really reach the vines, and I think it's because the vines themselves. So I played with it a bit more, and at the end what I did is to plant some of the grapes on the ground, and in building mode I took them inside the sides of the vines and into inside the poles, the wooden pole that is kind of the edge of those vines, and I shoved it inside over there. And because those fences, basically that pole from the wood, and the fences themselves basically are debug items, they are ghost items, so the sims can go through them and he can reach them. So after I did that, you're gonna end up in your game basically with the original grapes, bushes that are sticking from each of the sides of those vines, and basically the sims can go over there and grab the grapes from the bush. So basically, after all of that trouble, all of that mess, those vines are actually working. They are kind of go-around solution for for vines that we do not really have, and the bush itself is really like the grapes bush in the game is kind of weird, and it's not supposed to look like that. I don't know why they did that, and I don't know why they never really fixed it, so it will look a bit more like the real grapes vines. Like, just think about it, like the banana tree actually looked like a banana tree. Why we don't have a grapes vines in the game? I don't know why, but I made them over here, and I'm even considering maybe to publish it as a small room for you, so you can just grab them and place them in your game, and if you want to tilt them and move them, just use the tool mod by Twisted Maxi to do that. Of course, if you are on the PC, if you are on the console, you can just place them, you know, in the normal, like, just grab the room and place them over in your lot, but you will not be able to tilt them all together. But you can of course just do what I did over here and kind of mimic it into your game, and you'll have your own vines in the game. Anyway, way too much talking about the vines, because, well, I gotta tell you, I am super hyped for them, and I really love the way they are ended up look like. I really love them. So anyway, you can see that we are inside the build itself. And I told you this is a budget build, so it's not gonna be that fancy. I did create some like custom made I don't know, items from, I think this one is actually one of them, and this is like the storage unit above the kitchen. Now, because the lack of space in a small building, and you know that, I think that you know already, especially if you are following the channel for a long time now, that in small spaces you need to be smart. You don't need to just shove stuff inside. You need to make sure that you have enough space for everything, and sometimes you just don't have enough space for everything. And because just think about it, to stretch that small space now, even with one tile, it's actually going to be few hundred more simoleons, which we do not really have. So I decided that I'm not going to include a stovetop or a stove. I decided to use that toaster oven, or whatever that thing called, from the latest. I think it's from the decor. Yeah, I think it's the game pack of Decorator game pack. So I really love it. It just fits great over there, and you can use it to create, you know, like lunch and dinner. So basically, you can't really use a stove, but you can use that to create some great dishes. And to be honest, I never really played with that, I don't know, toaster oven or whatever that thing is. So I do not know if you can burn your house with it. So if you do know, and if you did, let us know. That can be actually really funny. I do know that you can burn your house using the stove, because I did that. Well, who didn't do that in The Sims, right? So yeah, so anyway, you can see that because of the small space, we don't have enough space even for a big couch. So I decided to go really cozy with two small ones and a place to watch your TV over there. And right here, I wanted to create some sort of a small cellar. Now, the cellar cannot be in like underground because we do not have money. So I decided to create some sort of a cellar upstairs, or more like a storage unit for the fizz bottles that you're gonna create. And weirdly enough, those fizz bottles are actually full, and they are part of the debug menu, and they are cost 0. Your Sims actually can drink them. And I never really tried, so I do not know if it's actually filled with something. I think they are. But yeah, so I created some sort of a storage unit for your fizz bottles over here, and I gotta tell you that it was really fun to create that build. And just like always, it is kind of, sometimes it's actually a bit challenging to create a small space, because when you have a big budget, you do not really care how much you spend and what you are using, because who cares? I don't care if I have a lot of money in the game to buy something or to build something. But when you are building something on a budget, you really need to be space saver. And yeah, so over here I think I created a custom made design. Yeah, you can see that I created some sort of a custom made like storage for clothing, like clothing storage. And I believe that the Sims can, I think I tested it and the Sims can reach it. And if not, bummer, just delete it. I think it can. But the real problem in the game sometimes is that the Sims can do something and 5 minutes later it will not. It's like something then blocking it from doing the same thing that it just did a few minutes ago. I don't know, sometimes I just can't understand how the game works. But you know, we need to look at the half glass full and not the empty, and just enjoy the time when he does manage to do some stuff in the game and not managing to do them. Anyway, you can see that we are in this small room, which is, I told you, it's not gonna be fancy. We are really playing on a budget right here, and I think I made it really small, a bit cozy, just like the whole build itself. And I just wanted to place that I don't know, broken area over there, just to remind you that this place is actually an old one. So we all have in our home some area that is a bit crooked or dented, or you smashed it and you never really fixed it, right? And if you don't, I need to do some fixes in my house, I guess. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Actually, we are getting closer to the end, and the tour is about to start in a bit, so I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts about this build at the comment section down below, and of course you can get it on the gallery under my ID, which is RGR Gaming. I don't think I changed it yet to Rgeetect, but just a small reminder for you, the Rgeetect name is the new upcoming name for the channel, so just put that in mind and don't be surprised if you're gonna see only one name, a new name, in the next future. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you didn't, the dislike, it's all good. And subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and enjoy the tour. I'll see you again at the next video. Keep that Sims party going for me, because Rgeetect is signing off.